My name is Susan Nutter, and I'm Vice Provost and Director of Libraries here at North Carolina State University. You know, it's always difficult to go back and see who had the idea. I think it was an idea that was kind of coming to the surface in a number of different communities. And so the UNC System, libraries of which I'm a part, had been doing sort of a long-range strategic plan about directions they wished to take, and one of the directions we decided we wanted to address was cooperative purchase of electronic resources. We knew that we had to have an allocation of resources, that if we tried to do it out of everyone's existing budget, we wouldn't get anywhere, that we were going to have to make the case to the general administration that we needed to do this. But we felt, too, that we had an obligation to involve, if we could, all of the libraries in North Carolina. So we created sort of a level playing field for everyone, and we could see real benefits down the road for that. We brought in a consultant, or the university system brought in a consultant who said, oh no, this is way too early. You can't do this now. Technology isn't far enough along, you're not going to get support. And so I guess I really didn't want to give it up, so I called the state librarian and said, have you ever thought of, and yes indeed she'd been thinking of it. And she was going to be going to a meeting with the independent libraries and the community college libraries to talk about the possibility of putting something together. So I said, well, can I come and present with you? Which I had not told the general administration that I was doing, because I felt I was just kind of exploring. But I also felt the time was right, and even waiting 2 years really is a very long time for young people, and didn't want to affect their learning. And so we made a presentation. Everyone went for it, and it meant, because we had investigated how to set ourselves up, it became very clear that we needed to each get the money through our administrative source. That was going to make for the strongest, safest kind of structure for NC Live. And so we all went out and talked to our administrations, and lo and behold, I mean, this was in the spring that we first talked about this. We had to have this all in place by fall and get requests in, and we all did it. And everybody was on board, and everybody was excited about it, including the president of the UNC System, who had not been the person who had said no to me. I mean, once he heard of it, he was fully behind it, and I think he had a lot to do with getting the legislation passed. I've been the representative from the UNC System for that entire period, but I've also been the host institution, sort of representative of the host institution. So NC Live has been located here as well. I think it all really relates to working with people from other libraries. That has been fabulous, and I really never got that chance before NC Live. And working with people from the different communities and understanding their needs and sort of gaining ideas from them as well has just been, that's been the most fun. Those personal relationships have just been great. Well, I think it's important to NC State because it really helps us stretch our resources, and so that makes a huge difference. It's really important to the UNC System because we've always wanted to cooperate and to share resources. However, we've never been able to get resources to do that. And whenever we have tried to do it by each one coughing up the money, it has never worked. And we've spent sometimes years, we've hired someone to help us, and we still haven't been able to make that happen. And so NC Live seems to be a pretty important force in doing that. resources, but also getting libraries working together, because I think other partnerships and relationships form as a result, and people find different subsets and groups to kind of work with to get things done. So I think that can be very powerful. You know, I think that it's hard for people to understand where the resources are coming from. And I think if we could find more powerful ways to make that clear to people, and that they actually have the resources. Because we find in working with the Raleigh community that a lot of times people don't realize they even have these things. And you know, I think if they knew, I think we would have more lobbying of the legislature for resources. I think people would really appreciate it. Well, I'm very proud of having been a part of it, and very committed to ensuring its future. I feel very strongly about it.